Hello and welcome. It's that time when we bring you trending stories from Nigeria's power sector. This is Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, and I am Chinwenwa Anyanwu. The management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says it is committed to advancing the electricity transmission grid of Nigeria through a robust master plan being implemented under the Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program, TREP.
The Managing Director of TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, reiterated this commitment when his team received the House of Representatives Committee on Power, Steel and Metallurgy, led by the Chairman, Honorable Dan Asuko, on an oversight visit to the TCN recently. Briefing the committee, he explained 4 key things that are being done to attain this, and they are stabilizing the frequency control of the grid, having an adequate spinning reserve, installing a functional supervisory control and data acquisition infrastructure for real-time transmission operation, and making critical investments in lines and substations to create N-1 for redundancy purpose and improve transmission of generated power to distribution load centers across the country.
The next thing to have a functional grid, and that is the 4th item, is we need to have critical investment in line and substations. As a nation, the minimum we need to have is what they call N-1, meaning every substation that we have should have equipment, should be equipped in such a way that if one transformer or one equipment goes out, it should not affect the system. That is N-1. So this project, our strategy is actually to put N-1 across the country. So that means that we need to put investment and also in substations and lines, and it means that we also need to close some loops. There are several power plants that are radial. They are not consistent with N-1.
Mr. Mohammed further identified the steps TCN is taking on the critical investments to further increase the bulk electricity wheeling capacity of the country. Some of them include using the in-house engineers to complete many abandoned projects by contractors.
Under that process, we have installed several transformers, and I can give you an example. We installed 60 MVA in Aba, we installed 40 MVA in Omahia, we installed 60 MVA in Bauchi, we installed 60 MVA in Aja, we installed 40 MVA in Ejigbo, and several other places. And so what we are paying the staff is actually their allowance for sitting in that place. That's what we are paying the staff. So we didn't spend money in that guy. And that's why, even though we didn't get extra money from the market, we are able to do more because we use the staff.
The TCN boss also said the company's research and development department did intense research and found a better conductor that can transmit more electricity than the aluminium conductor presently being used.
What we did, sir, is that we discovered that we have some money under the World Bank project, the H-Hold project, and we decided to buy high capacity conductor. Before we did that, is that we asked our R&D department to do a research and find out if there is new conductors that are light and can carry high capacity. Because if you put a conductor on top of a tower that is heavier, it can collapse the tower. We discovered that there is a conductor they call gap, which can even carry 2, sometimes 3 times of the capacity that our current conductor are carrying, and it's lighter. So it's lighter, and also it can withstand higher temperature more than the current one.
Mr. Mohammed said the conductors will be used to replace the old ones on the various lines, and the company will add about 2,000 megawatts of electricity wheeling capacity with this innovative rehabilitation of power lines nationwide. On the current wheeling capacity, he said,
as at last 2 weeks when we simulated the grid, the capacity of grid is 8,000 now. So if we are able to do this reconducting, we are going to shift the capacity between 10,000 to 11,000.
Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Power, Honorable Dan Asuko, explained the objective of the oversight visit to TCN, saying it was part of their constitutional responsibilities.
It is on record that we have had change of leadership from interim, and this is our, I think, the interim managing director has transformed to be substantive, in line with the performance and, of course, the set out goals that the government and people of Nigeria wants to achieve in TCN. It is our duty to benchmark the new MD and his team based on verifiable achievements and milestones that have been achieved so far.
Honorable Asukwo inquired of what the market operator, a sector under TCN, is doing to ensure that operators in the Nigerian electricity market comply with the guiding market rules. Among other inquiries was
what's going on with NIPP projects. Some of these projects are stranded, so what are the plans for resolving some of those projects on course with TCN?
The TCN MD and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Muhammad, responded to the inquiries as he reassured the committee that the present management of TCN was bent on addressing past shortcomings and working to reform the company to operate in line with global best practices.
I've asked that I should respond in writing.
The Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, and its core investor, Copperbelt Energy Corporation, CEC, along with its technical partner, have contracted with the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to build more distribution networks and evacuate more electricity from the increasing transmission grid capacity.
The Managing Director of Copperbelt Energy Corporation, CEC Africa Investments, and board member of the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, Mr. Emmanuel Katepa, at the meeting which held at the CEC office in Abuja, said it has engaged Power Analytics Solutions to find ways of positioning AEDC on delivering more electricity to its customers.
We have had, during this period, support of the TCN, or encouragement of TCN, maybe to put it correctly, in working together towards an innovative outcome for us as investors. CEC Africa invested in Abuja Electricity Distribution Company back in 2013, and I think Abuja, under our management and guidance, has scored a lot of successes.
The chairman of Power Analytics Solutions, a power solution providing firm, Mr. Brian Amona, lauded the new management of TCN under the leadership of Usman Gur Muhammad for prioritizing planning and expansion of transmission infrastructure.
The MD got on board. We now have planning that allows private sector funding to come in to develop, right? TCN has successfully raised 1.7 billion to expand their grid. We know that Nigeria doesn't have a power problem, Nigeria has a finance problem. So we are partnering with Abuja Disco via CEC to raise funding to expand the network, so that the additional power that is coming down the line from TCN, investment will be required to deliver that power, investment will be required to collect revenue on that power delivered.
He said the firm was working to position AEDC so it can pay 100% of its energy invoice without recourse to the guarantee being provided at present by the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC.
And we have to thank TCN because TCN led the way. Without the encouragement from TCN, it would have been difficult to attract investors. The reason is, if you're investing money to expand the distribution franchise of Disco, you need to be assured that power can move through the system, that power can be delivered, the revenue collected, which pays for everything. So thank you again MD, for your exemplary leadership.
The Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, in his address, said the power sector is a value chain that needs the various sections working together to fix the power sector and reduce the rate of lack of access to electricity in sub-Saharan Africa.
We as Nigerians particularly, we have no option than to fix the power sector. And if we don't fix the power sector, there's no way we will realize the benefits and the potentials of this country. And if Nigeria is not fixed also, the entire Africa cannot be fixed. Because if you look at lack of access globally in the whole world, you will discover that more than 50% of lack of access globally is from sub-Saharan Africa. And if you also check the sub-Saharan Africa, you will discover that 5 countries are causing more than 50% of the lack of access. And those countries are Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Congo, and Nigeria.
Mr. Mohammed spoke of the model TCN adopted to record the achievements in increased transmission wheeling capacity by completing various substations and transformer installations contracts that were either delayed or abandoned by contractors.
So this is how we have been able to change things. It was very tough. But you see, one of the good things is that when you are making progress, people will also subspaddle on what they do. Often they will be very angry, but they will subspaddle, and that's what we are doing. So Nigeria is not a bad case. As we speak with you, we have achieved frequency control of 49.5 and 50.5. This has not been achieved in the last 20 years. We have advertised spinning reserve, and we have completed the evaluation. We have sent it to NAC. Nigeria has never done a competitive procurement of spinning reserve.
He said TCN was on course to raising the transmission wheeling capacity from the current 8,000 megawatts to 20,000 megawatts by 2021, adding that the DISCOs need to invest more to evacuate the available bulk power.
Lack of investment in DISCO is making even the investment in TCN not to be sustainable.
Yep.
Not to be sustainable. And that is why everything we can do to make long-term investment into DISCO, we have to do it. It's not, but it's not even by choice, it's by force. We have to do it.
The participants identified the opportunities for dealing with challenges of investments in the power sector as they went through the process of signing the partnership documents.
Thank you very much.
Speaking after the meeting, Mr. Mohammed gave the assurance of TCN's cooperation.
We have been talking about bringing investment. You know, all this power sector is about investment. Yes, the reason why we privatize the DISCO and the GEMCOs is because we believe that government does not have the investment to sustainably expand the network, and that's why government privatize the DISCOs and GEMCOs. Therefore, anything we are going to do to bring investment, we are actually happy to do it. And the kind of investment we are looking at are investment that these kind of people are bringing. I discussed with them before today, and I've heard what they want to do. So the only way we can sustainably expand the network is to have money that have monitoring period, like these people are going to bring. These people, this power analytics, they are bringing money with monitoring period so that they can invest for the 5 years to reduce the losses to certain level that will be easy to transfer the tariff to the customers. So this is what we need. I'm happy with this arrangement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Let's take a break for a message. Please stay tuned.
Verify that land before you buy it. To drastically reduce the incidence of building under the transmission right-of-way or encroaching on designated TCN land, members of the public are hereby requested to verify land near or along transmission line route before purchasing it. Verification should be made in the Land Development Authority or at the TCN office. This would help in drastically reducing the incidence of building under transmission line right-of-way and save us all the problem of pulling down the structure or truncating transmission line expansion projects in your community due to court injunction. Help us serve you better. Verify that land before you buy it.
You're still watching Power Wheel. The federal government says it has built a double circuit line from Kashimbila to Yandev transmission substation of the Transmission Company of Nigeria in Benue State to enable it to evacuate power from the new 40 megawatts Kashimbila hydropower plant in Taraba State when commissioned next year.
Speaking at the 132-33 kV transmission substation in Yandev during an inspection tour, Kashimbila project manager in the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Engineer Aliyu Abubakar, said the substation was upgraded from a single circuit to a double circuit line so it can have more capacity to evacuate the increasing electricity generation.
We are building a line from the hydropower plant, to Takum, a distance of 65 kilometers, and we have a 2x60 MVA substation 132 at Takum. And then Takum is a local government and they need power in that area, so we decide to have a station there. And between Takum to Wokari is 75 kilometers. We have another 2x60 MVA 132 kV substation with a double circuit line. So eventually when the power is generated, it will now supply the areas of Takum, Wokari, and the excess power now is to be connected to the Yandev substation, to the national grid. And equally power can be moved from the Yandev substation to Wokari back, up to Takum. So it's a double circuit coming in. So being a single circuit, substation initially, so we have to now make another double.
After he had conducted newsmen round the substation, Engineer Abubakar said the Yandev substation is where power from the hydropower station will be evacuated into the grid to improve bulk electricity wheeling capacity from the hydropower plant.
Kashimbila substation is 245 kilometers from here. So from Kashimbila now the generated power will move from Kashimbila to Takum, and we have a 2x60 MVA substation at Takum. And from Takum it will move to Wokari, a distance of 75 kilometers, and we have built another 2x60 MVA at Takum in order to give power to the people in Takum local government and environ, and also Wokari local government in environ. So as I'm talking, we have built 2x60 MVA at Wokari, and from Wokari there is connection to this particular substation distance of 105 kilometers. So all the powers after supplying Takum local government and Wokari, the excess is going to be connected to this particular substation, the Yandev substation, where eventually the power will be connected to the grid through Alaide to Apir substation, that is the 330 kV substation at Makodi. So this is how the power is going to be transported from the Kashimbila substation to this particular substation.
He said prior to the enormous upgrade of substations around the axis, Southern Taraba has no single 132 kV substation that could serve the distribution company to deliver more electricity to their customers in the region.
So with the coming of the Kashimbila hydropower plant, that's why government decided to run the transmission line through from Kashimbila to Takum, Takum to Wokari, then Wokari to the connection point to the grid at Yandev. If not, we will have just connected Kashimbila direct to Yandev, but it will not be good because that place is highly underserved, and before this particular project, the only source of getting supply is through the Katsina Ala feeder, which now run from this particular station now to Katsina Ala, then to Wokari, Wokari to Takum, Takum up to Usa. So a distance of over 230 kilometers. By the time the power gets there, it's just like a candle light. So that's why government, decided to, extend the power infrastructure through Kashimbila to Wokari, Takum to Wokari, Wokari to the national grid.
Speaking on the communities that will benefit from the added transmission infrastructure along the 40 MV Kashimbila hydropower evacuation route, he said,
all the communities within these two local governments, including some part of Benue State along Jatuaka and the rest, they will also benefit from this particular infrastructure.
Next is an interview with the General Manager, TCN Osogbo Regional Headquarters, Mr. Samuel Olushola Adeyemo, as he discusses key progress in the region. Tell us more about the Osogbo transmission region.
The region is created out of Lagos region in just about 10 years ago. Osogbo region is taking care of bulk supply of electricity to Kwara State, Ogun State, Ekiti State, Kogi State, Oyo State, and Osun State.
Do you have enough substations to serve these states?
Definitely no, because what defines the location of substation is the load in each area. That is what defines where you are going to locate substations. The load is growing because the economy is growing, and when the economy is growing, the load required, the power required also will be growing. So we need more substations to be able to efficiently supply electricity to our esteemed customers. Take for instance in Oyo, we need to locate one substation there in Oyo town.
How has TCN's relationship with its customers, the DISCOs, been?
We are interfacing with Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company and Benin Electricity Distribution Companies. Those are the companies we are interfacing with. We talk one-on-one, and we hold meetings occasionally from time to time. And we have a platform for discussions. That is the only way we can guarantee stable supply of electricity to our esteemed customers.
There are several transmission projects in the region. Can you speak more on them?
Under Osogbo region, we have the following ongoing projects. The first one is installation of 2x60 MVA transformer 13233 at Egbe in Kogi State. Installations of 2x60 MVA transformer at Ede. We have another one that has gotten to advanced stage, 2x60 MVA, 13233 kV transformers and associated 33 kV feeders at Ogbomoso. We have similarity in Songhai, near Ilorin. That one is going. And there is the plan to upgrade Ilorin TS in Kwara State to 2x100 MVA, 132-3. It's at the top there. And similarly in Sagamu, in Ogun State, we have installation of 2x60 MVA ongoing. And in order to increase our delivery capacity, wheeling capacity to Oyo North, we are installing 1x30 MVA at Isheyin TS.
We're bringing you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Please don't go away. We hope you had an exciting time with us on this edition. Join us on Power Wheel, same time, same station, next week. Until then, you can watch our episodes via our YouTube channel and as well reach us through these other platforms showing on your screen. I am Chiwenwa Anyao. Bye for now.